cousin announced she was keeping my daughter because 2 weeks of babysitting made her the real mother. My cousin Rachel had been planning to keep my daughter Jenny from the moment I went into emergency surgery. While I was unconscious on the operating table, fighting a massive internal infection, Rachel was redecorating my daughter's room at her house and telling her neighbors about the permanent addition to her family. She'd even enrolled Jenny in the local school near her house, lying on the forms that she was the legal guardian. The emergency happened fast. My appendix burst and went septic. I'd called Rachel from the ambulance, barely conscious, asking her to pick up Jenny from daycare. Just for a few days, I'd gasped through the pain. Please, I need someone to watch her. Rachel had arrived at the hospital with adoption websites already bookmarked on her phone. She'd been trying to have kids for 6 years. 3 rounds of failed IVF had left her desperate. When I begged her to take care of Jenny, she saw it as the universe finally giving her what she deserved. Those 2 weeks I spent in the hospital, Rachel transformed into Jenny's mother. Not a temporary guardian, not a helpful relative, the mother. She introduced Jenny to everyone as her daughter. She threw out all of Jenny's clothes from my apartment and bought new ones. She told Jenny to call her mommy and that I was just Aunt Jessica, who'd been sick for so long that I couldn't take care of anyone anymore. She'd even hired a photographer for family portraits. Just her husband Tom, and my daughter. When I was finally discharged, weak but recovering, I called Rachel to arrange picking up Jenny. Rachel didn't answer. She texted back, saying Jenny was napping and shouldn't be disturbed. I'll bring her by tomorrow, she wrote. But tomorrow never came. Always an excuse. Jenny had a cold. Jenny was at a play date. Jenny was sleeping. After 3 days, I took an Uber to Rachel's house. She answered the door but wouldn't let me in. Jenny's finally adjusted to stability, she said, blocking the doorway. Moving her again would be traumatic. You're not thinking about what's best for her. I tried to push past her. She's my daughter. I'm taking her home. Tom appeared behind her. Actually, Jessica, we need to talk about that. Jenny's been with us for weeks now. She's enrolled in school here. She has friends. We've established residency. What are you talking about? I was in the hospital. You were babysitting. Rachel pulled out a folder. We've documented everything. 2 weeks of full-time care. Doctor appointments we took her to. School enrollment. She's established here now. Any court would see we're the stable option. You can't even stand without wobbling. How can you care for a 5-year-old? I called the police from their front porch. The officer who arrived looked bored until he heard the full story. Then he looked at Rachel. Ma'am, you're saying you won't return this woman's child? Rachel stood straighter. We're not kidding. We're keeping her. She's been abandoned for weeks. That constitutes custody transfer in emergencies. I've done the research. The officer raised an eyebrow. She was in the hospital. That's not abandonment. That's a medical emergency. Rachel pulled out printed papers. Look, I have documents. School enrollment, medical proxy forms, and even a notarized statement saying I'm the guardian. I looked at the notarized form. Rachel had forged my signature while I was unconscious. The date was from when I was literally in surgery. The officer called for backup and a social worker. While we waited, Rachel kept insisting she was protecting Jenny. From what? The officer asked. From an unstable situation. Jessica's a single mom. She works full-time. She got seriously ill. What happens next time? We're married, we own our home, and Tom has excellent insurance. We're the better option. The social worker arrived within an hour. Mrs. Franklin was a small woman with sharp eyes who'd seen everything. She looked at Rachel's folder of evidence, then at me, then back at Rachel. Mrs. Torres, you enrolled this child in school using what authority? Rachel smiled. Emergency custody rights. When a parent is incapacitated, responsible family members can make educational decisions. Mrs. Franklin nodded slowly. And this notarized guardian form? I had it prepared for Jessica's protection, in case something happened again. Mrs. Franklin examined the document. This is dated 2 weeks ago. The notary stamp is from Harold's office services, correct? Rachel nodded proudly. Yes, Tom's friend Harold helped us. Harold the notary? Mrs. Franklin pulled out her phone. The one whose license was revoked 6 months ago for fraudulent documentation. The color drained from Rachel's face. What? Harold never mentioned that. Mrs. Franklin made a call. I need immediate custody verification for a minor child. Possible attempted illegal guardianship transfer. Within minutes, she had the truth. Rachel had no legal standing, no court orders, no emergency custody, just forged documents and lies. Full story on channel, link below.